Boy, oh boy. Hey, we're back here in the land of Middle Earth. You know, there's dwarves, dragons, and hey, I sounded upbeat last week, gang, and it's because we were watching the Lord of the Rings movies. This week we're watching The Hobbit, and I'm less upbeat for a reason. All right? This is your host, the desolation of Smog. Daniel Ehrenberg.
Was that the first one or the second one?
That was the second one.
There's a better one than that one?
There's a much better one. I couldn't think of it. Yeah, I came up with it last night. Anyway, Daniel Ehrenberg here on the ones and the twos. And over there, we got Logan on the threes and the fours. And we're going to talk about Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. All right? He's back. The king. Aragorn is the titular king, I believe.
Yeah.
All right. And then The Hobbit, an unexpected journey. And it was unexpected, I will admit.
I saw it coming a mile away.
You did? I really didn't. I gotta say, I mean, we'll get into it, but gang, I'm done with this franchise already. All right? Listen, I got no beef with Lord of the Rings. I got through Return of the King fine. I watched all 3.5 hours, that fucking thing. Minimal complaining. Did I even text you during the movie?
Yes.
Not much, though.
No.
Just to, make fun of that gay kiss at the end.
Yeah, The Hobbit, I was getting suicidal text messages. Literally.
I was literally talking about committing suicide. It was that bad.
Yeah, rough stuff, guys.
I needed that I needed logic to come in and rap at me for a minute. By the way, did I ever tell you the story about when I was in rehab and a girl came in with the lyric sheets? She had lyric sheets for everyone in group therapy of that song, and she made us all listen to that song with the lyrics.
Wow. I don't want to die. I don't want to die today.
I never more wanted to die in my life than that day.
Oh my god.
All right. Anyway, let's get into Middle Earth. All right. So let's talk about Lord of the Rings first. We'll get to this Hobbit shit because I've got a lot to say. And this was a nightmare. All right. This was a full nightmare. I don't know how any of you like this movie. If you like this movie, you're lying to yourself. You have Stockholm syndrome with this fucking universe. All right. But before we get into it, let's talk about the movie that won Best Picture and shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's reset. Go back. It's still 2003. Lord of the Rings is still the center of the universe, okay? The first two movies were huge hits. First one won a shit ton of awards. Second one didn't because the award shows were like, well, let's save it. The next one's coming out. We'll give that one all the awards.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at. Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King finally comes out December 18th, 2003 on a budget of $94 million like the other two. And it's huge. It's huge. It did better than the other two.
Oh, did it get $1 billion?
It did. It hit $1 billion.
Wow.
1.146 billion.
There we go.
At the box office. It is the number one movie of 2003 overall. I have the top 10 here, Logan. If you wanna take a crack.
Yeah, I'll take a guess. I don't know this as
10.
much as the others, but I'll guess Pirates. That was 2003.
That was number 3. Very good.
There's the second X-Men.
That was number 6. Very good.
Finding Nemo.
Number 2.
Okay. The Matrix sequels came out that year.
You're fucking killing it. All right, Matrix Reloaded was number 4. Matrix Revolutions was number 9. All you have left now is 10, 8, 7, and 5.
Well, I might be running out. Fast and Furious 2?
No, come on.
What do you mean, come on? Those are big.
Those Fast and Furiouses weren't cracking the top 10 till 5.
Okay. Elf, that was a big comedy. That
Yep,
year.
number 7. Very good.
I think I'm out.
All right. Number 10, can you believe this? Cheaper by the Dozen.
Wow.
Making it in there.
Wow.
Yeah, what a hit. No wonder they made a sequel.
Yeah. Only 2 of them?
Well,
They only made 2 of those?
Yeah, we'll have to cover those, right?
Yeah, definitely. Maybe Tim will
Hilary
pick
Duff,
those for us.
Tom Welling, all the greats.
Yeah. Miranda Cosgrove, right?
Tom Welling, my favorite Superman.
Yeah.
right? Everybody's favorite Superman.
Yeah. Okay.
Miranda Cosgrove is in that one.
I want to say so.
Right on the heels of School of Rock, huh?
It's the same year, right? 2003.
Yeah, you're right. That's not in the top 10.
Oh, should be. That should have won Best
Number
Picture this year.
I agree. Number 8 was Terminator 3, The Rise
Oh.
of the Machines.
Yeah.
All right. So you got to see a Terminator with like hot tits.
Okay.
All right. And then, and then number 5 was Bruce Almighty.
What the hell?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was bigger than
No.
Elf.
Yeah. Because it's like all the people that believe in God. It's like, here, what if your Lord and Savior was very funny?
Was it that before or after Evan Almighty?
Before, of course. Come on. Evan Almighty was like, they were just desperately trying to do a sequel to Bruce Almighty.
Yeah. Yeah. It didn't work.
Evan Almighty's a nightmare. If you ever see it. It's like the difference between Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit.
I think we watched that in school one day. Like we didn't have anything to do, and they were like, somebody has Evan Almighty on DVD. We'll watch that."
It's super Christian. Because it's about building Noah's Ark.
I think we watched
And,
Noah
like-
too in school one day.
Dude, that movie sucks.
Yeah, it
He
was.
fights demons in that movie.
Yeah, it was real boring. I think in Spanish class, it was a weird time.
Really?
It was very
Spanish
weird.
class. What's going on there?
I don't know. I think maybe we watched it in Spanish. I don't even remember.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So, all right. So that's your top 10. Should we get into all the many awards? Because this movie, holy shit.
Yes, please.
All right. I mean, let's just start with the Oscars, where it was nominated for 13 awards and won all of them.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oscars, it's the red carpet, it's the red carpet and the gowns and the tuxes. The Oscars, it's the big night for Hollywood, the red carpet and the golden man.
Best Picture, Best Director, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Score, Best Song, Annie Lennox. Best Sound Mixing, Art Direction, Makeup, Costumes, Editing, and Visual Effects. It won all of those.
Wow. I think this is a record, right? I think 13 I think it's like this, Ben-Hur, and like one other thing maybe.
Yeah, maybe Titanic. You got to understand, too, like, in 2003, I still really cared about the Oscars.
Yeah.
And I really hated Lord of the Rings.
Yes, this is a nightmare.
This was a terrible year for me. I remember watching this Oscars, and I was expecting it. I knew it would win picture and director at the very least, but I didn't see it winning all 13.
Yeah.
And it was tough to watch.
At least no actors won. That would have been absurd.
Well, they didn't nominate any of them.
Yes. Yeah, so at least you got that right.
Yeah. All right, next, BAFTA.
Yeah.
All right, they're not quite as crazy. They gave it Best Film. Jackson nominated for Best Director, but they gave it to Peter Weir for Master and Commander, The Far Side of the World.
Okay.
Yeah, a very good movie.
Yeah, I've never seen it. I always want to.
One of my biggest regrets for movies that should have been franchises.
Yeah. I think people talk about that a lot, as they wish that there were more of those. People love that movie, I think.
I never did. I rewatched it maybe a year and a half ago, and it blew me away. Way better than I remembered it. All right, Ian McKellen, he was nominated for supporting actor.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, he lost to Bill Nighy for Love Actually, which surprised me.
Okay, I love him.
It's a British movie.
Yeah.
Which one is Bill Nighy in that movie?
He is like a rock star, right? And he's in like his best friend is like his manager, and it's like their love story of like being friends, I think.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Isn't
Yeah,
Martin
that's
Freeman
right.
also in that movie?
I don't remember.
I think
but
he's like
do-
does like porn stand-ins in that movie.
I do. Oh, that's right. The porn stand-in part. God, there's a lot of weird shit.
I like
going
that
on in
movie a lot.
movie.
I like that movie.
I like that movie a lot. Maybe overstating it.
No,
but
I do. I like that movie a lot.
Well, for
Liam
you.
Liam Neeson and his kid. That's like cute stuff.
Yeah. You like the part where he does the thing that Bob Dylan did in the Subterranean Homesick Blues video?
I don't even know what you're saying. The Andrew Lincoln
Yeah.
stuff is pretty weird.
The fucking the cards.
Oh, that's the Andrew Lincoln stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
I didn't see that movie until after Walking Dead was a thing, and I was like, "Hey, look."
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, all right. All right, next up, Ian McKellen. Yeah, he lost to Bill Nye. We talked about that. The movie won Best Adapted Screenplay. It won Cinematography, by the way, which it was not nominated for at the Oscars. It was nominated for Costumes, but lost to Master and Commander. It lost Editing to Lost in Translation. More like one for editing, right?
Yeah, I haven't seen that movie.
Lost in Translation. More like one in editing.
Great joke. Great joke.
Hilarious joke. Thank you.
Yeah.
And it lost Makeup and Hair to Pirates of the Caribbean: The Curse of the Black Pearl.
That's fair.
All right. And music, it lost to Cold Mountain. Can I just talk about the music in Cold Mountain for a second?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Jack White's in that movie.
Yeah,
All right. A great musician, right?
sure. Not as good as Jack Black.
Stop it. All right. But Jack White, the frontman for the White Stripes, in the year 2003, when Cold Mountain came out, was the year Elephant came out. Their best record, a fucking spectacular record, 14 Stone Cold classics in a row. Okay. Now, he shows up in Cold Mountain. They're like, don't do any music for us. You're going to act in this. All right. All right. Think about that.
Yeah.
You're going to be an actor in this movie. Now, we do need somebody to do the music. It's not going to be you. I'll tell you who it's going to be. Sting. It's going to be Sting in the year 2003, and he's going to write all the lyrics in Old English.
And he won this award?
Yes.
Wow. At least he beat Billy Boyd.
Oh God, yeah, he sings a song, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. I liked it,
What
actually.
the fuck was that? No, I didn't. I thought it was Annie Lennox singing it first, and then they cut to Billy Boyd.
But especially comparing it to The Hobbit. Think about the singing in The Hobbit compared to the singing in Lord of the Rings. It's way
I know,
better.
but listen, I'd never seen The Hobbit. You know, I in the moment it was horrible. I understand that comparing it to, you know, oh, Bilbo doesn't like his house messed up.
Yeah.
Don't chip a plate or chip a glass or chink a glass or chink a glass.
By the way,
What?
I told you that I turned the movie off when they started singing. So that's when I turned. Do you get why I turned the movie off there?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's horrible, and it only gets worse too. Like
The first 45 minutes of that movie, you are just held hostage in that fucking hobbit hole.
Yeah, it's rough. But then, like, when you leave, you just want to go back to it. Like, when they start fighting when they're with the trolls, you're just like, oh, just take me back.
I don't want to go back to it. I just want to shut the fucking thing off.
Yeah.
The whole movie, I'm just watching it with my hand on the X button, and I'm not allowed to press it. All right, so it won the BAFTA for visual effects as well. Let's move on to Saturn's.
Saturn is between Uranus and Neptune. Saturn, whoa! Sci-fi masterpiece films.
It won Best Fantasy Film. Boom.
Yeah.
Jackson won Best Director. It won for writing. How about this? Elijah Wood won Best Actor.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah, and Vigo is nominated too. Wood beat him.
Really?
Yep.
Neither should be nominated. Vigo's
agree.
fine, but like,
But it's it's the genre awards. That's what I'm saying. They're only nominated against fantasy, horror, action, and fantasy films.
the MVP for this movie, I think, is really hard. I feel like nobody sticks out.
For Return of the King?
Yes.
No, I don't feel that way.
Okay.
I feel like I got an MVP and an LVP.
Okay.
I can't remember them now, but I did yesterday.
Mine's tough for both. I'm not settled.
Well, I'm sure I'll be able to remember eventually what mine were. Okay. So how about this? Best Supporting Actor. Who do you think won? 3 actors from this movie.
Big Bloom year. I'm gonna guess Orlando Bloom.
Okay. Well, he wasn't one of the 3 nominated.
Okay, good.
All right. In alphabetical order, you got Sean Astin, Ian McKellen, and Andy Serkis nominated for this award. And you'll recall Serkis won for the Twin Towers.
Right. I'm gonna go Aston.
He did win. You're right.
Yeah, this is a big Aston movie.
Big Aston movie. And by the way, that reminds me, he was my MVP.
Really?
Yeah.
Sam has a lot to do, but I'm not so sure that Sean Astin sold me on it.
I think Sean Astin, I talked shit about him last week, and I think he locked himself in for me this week. He belongs.
When they like ditch him and they're like, all right, we got to leave Sam now. He's a bad guy, and Sam's crying to himself. It's like it's pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, but it's even more embarrassing that they were able to fool him because of those crumbs.
Yeah, Frodo sucks.
Are you fucking kidding me? But Sam sucks in that moment too.
But Frodo believes Gollum. Like, oh my God, Sam ate all my food.
But Frodo is being influenced by the evil ring, of course. Okay? So that's part of it. In that moment, think about the situation. Your 3 buddies are sleeping, right? You and your 2 buds, all right? You're Fat Sam. You've got this little fella, and you've got this weirdo, okay?
Who is who?
You're the only normal one.
Sam's the only normal one.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So you're sleeping. Imagine this. You're sleeping. You wake up. There's like commotion. Like, what the fuck? Like, your friends are mad at you. What? And one of them is like, the bread's gone. We've got no bread. You're like, all right, well, that sucks. I mean, we could probably find some other food, but like, I understand the situation's dire at this point. Like, we'll figure out who ate the bread. So then your creepy friend is like, hey, look, this guy has crumbs on his shirt. He ate the bread. All right. So in your mind, you know you didn't eat the bread.
Right.
Right. So what should your instant reaction be?
No, I did not.
Yes, exactly. You should just deny it. So what you should then say is, hey, Frodo, I didn't eat the fucking bread. I woke up with these crumbs on me. So clearly this weirdo that we both know is a total weirdo is trying to frame me. This guy, remember the guy who tried to kill us last movie? He put crumbs on me like a total fucking weirdo and tried to frame me for eating the bread. Do you agree we should now leave him here?
But Frodo doesn't see it that way. Frodo just...
No. But Sam doesn't make that argument. Sam is like, oh, I do have crumbs on me. Did I eat the bread? Like, what? Are you a moron?
Himself. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you have to just say in that moment, I didn't do it. It's clearly this guy who's blaming it on me.
We're traveling around with a gremlin named Gollum, all right? I didn't eat bread. I woke up with crumbs on me. It's clear what's happening.
But it's also Frodo's fault for not being able to see through that. And why are you just leaving your friend anyway?
But if you're Sam, you have to submit a clear argument there because you know that Frodo is currently being influenced by evil.
Gollum does do a good job, though. Like, we can't say it's just their fault. Gollum does a good job.
But he doesn't. It's like when you watch a reality show, it's like, the move doesn't count. I don't want to talk about like Big Brother. I was gonna make a Big Brother reference, but it's like
when Russell got Tyson to like vote himself out. Like,
my God, it is like that.
It's like, was that stupid on Tyson or was that good on Russell? Right?
It's a little of both, but it's an unforced error on Sam.
Right.
Sam could have gotten out of this and failed to.
Right. I agree with you. So I can't give Sam my MVP because of that.
No, he's still my MVP. All right. Next up, Miranda Otto. I'll tell you what, she was nominated for supporting actress.
Wow.
She's barely in this movie.
But she has a good moment.
What? When she fucking picks Mary up on her
she kills the fucking Witch King of Angmar.
Who cares?
I am no man. What are you talking about?
Yo, the Witch King sucks.
No, like, kind of cool.
No, it's just we need it's another thing. We made our villain non-corporeal, so we need another fucking henchman for them to beat in this movie.
It's better than the freaking villain in The Hobbit. That stupid goblin
it's a million times better than that guy.
Oh my God.
And it's better than the stupid spider that they're razzling at the beginning of this movie.
Well, that's a little later.
I mean, what am I watching? Wild Wild West?
Yeah, the spider kind of sucks. We'll get to the spider.
Okay. Hey, Miranda Otto lost supporting actress to Ellen DeGeneres.
What?
How about that? Yeah, for her
Oh.
role as Dory in
Yeah.
Finding Nemo.
Wow. I didn't know they did that.
Saturn was really ahead of its time in like giving acting awards to like voice performers. I mean, they gave it to Circus the previous year.
But that's different. That's not just a voice performance.
I don't know. I feel like Robin Williams might have won for Aladdin like years ago too.
Yeah, you might be right.
No. Anyway, they lost costumes to Pirates. I guess Pirates really swept on costumes that year.
Yeah, good costume.
And then they won music and makeup and visual effects. Over there at the Golden Globes,
It's the GGs, the Golden Globes. It's the Hollywood Foreign Press, mostly French.
they nominated them for 4 awards and they won all of them.
Wow, look at them.
Dr-
I think the
best-
visual effects in this movie might be the worst of any of them. There's like
They're
way
the same.
more, and it looks it looks way cleaner, which makes it look not as real. I wasn't so into it.
I more felt that about Hobbit.
Me too. But still, and I think Gollum actually looks a little worse. He's a little cleaner, so he looks a little more like a cartoon character. I don't know, but also that's more in the Hobbit. We'll get to Gollum in the Hobbit.
I don't know. The only effect that struck me as bad was when he falls in the lava.
Yeah, that's pretty. I mean, they're running out of Mount Doom, and the lava's like rushing everywhere.
Boy, I'll tell you what, they outrun that lava real easy.
Yeah,
Lava is slow. I think after watching Volcano and Dante's Peak on our Patreon show and Twins, patreon.com/the franchise, and now this, what I have to say is lava is not a threat.
it was moving faster in this, though. It was more of a threat.
I feel that if I encountered lava as it appears in movies, I could defeat lava.
I don't think it is as it appears in movies, though.
Well, I guess I'll find out. I hope one day I experience a volcano.
Yeah, of course. You've never been to
That's a good
Hawaii?
way to die. Isn't that a great way to die?
A volcano?
Like, people ask you how you want to die, and like most people say in their sleep, or like if you had to die violently, how would you die? Drowning, fire. Would you like to be shot or something? Like for me, I would like to die embracing a loved one in Pompeii.
What? That sounds terrible. That sounds like a horrible way to die.
No, it's a great way to die.
I want to be like so important that somebody has to get like a helicopter to come murder me. I want that to be the way that I die.
No, I just want to be immortalized in ash and magma.
But then like no one's gonna find you. Just like decay.
No, but I'll be like a beautiful living statue of humanity.
I don't know if that's how that works.
Listen, I've seen Paul W.S. Anderson's Pompeii. I know how this works.
All right, well, I'll take your word for it.
Thank you. Golden Globes. It won for drama, director, score, and song. MTV Awards. Let's hear the theme.
I want my MTV.
Yeah, nominated for 2 awards, won them both. Best movie, best action sequence. The Battle of Gondor. All right.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Teens. The teens. Let's talk about those guys.
It's the teen choice award.
Were you a teen at this time? How old were you?
I was a teen at this time, yeah.
Did you vote?
I may have. Yeah.
You probably voted for X-Men, right?
I probably did, yeah. I was big into X-Men 2 at the time. 2003, I was in December. Well, the Teen Choice Awards would have been summer 2004. So it was actually like I just graduated high school. I'm 17.
Yeah, probably too cool.
I'm in a band. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was probably too cool. All right. Best action movie. It was nominated for that. It lost to Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Oh, the next year. Yeah.
Yeah. Orlando Bloom and Elijah Wood were both nominated for Best Actor by the teens.
That's
And
crazy.
Yeah. And they lost to Brad Pitt for Troy.
Wow, another Orlando Bloom project.
Is he in that?
Yeah.
That movie's okay.
Yeah, I actually liked that movie when I was a kid.
Man, I guess teens liked Troy. All right.
Yeah.
Liv Tyler nominated for Best Actress.
Oh
How about
my
that?
God.
She's barely in this movie, and she's fucking unwatchable in both of her
She
scenes.
sucks in these movies.
She sucks in all movies.
She's might be the LVP of Lord of the Rings. It's either her or Hugo Weaving.
or Kate Blanchett.
No,
I hate to say it, but
she's not the worst though.
holy shit. I never need to see Galadriel. How have I watched this character in 4 movies?
No, I agree with you. Galadriel sucks, but at least Kate Blanchett, you're like, oh, it's Kate Blanchett looking into the camera.
Yeah, but when Liv Tyler shows up, I'm like, hey, it's Liv Tyler.
But with Liv Tyler, you're like, she's like running off with the elves, and is she gonna die? And she's in love with Aragorn. There's a child now. Everything sucks with her.
Aragorn really needed to shit can this lady from Miranda Otto.
I agree with you.
He
Bro,
made the wrong move for his own happiness.
yeah, and it looked like at the end, Miranda Otto was gonna end up with freaking David Wenham, Faramir.
I was starting to think Miranda Otto was going to end up with fucking Mary.
No, Mary almost dies at one point in the movie.
She's constantly like inviting him aboard her horse and shit.
No, she just wants him to. They have the same interest. They both want to go to war.
And he's so annoying.
Mary.
It's like they get everything they want. Like Merry and Pippin, they whine about everything that happens to them, and then anything they complain about, they immediately get.
Who's worse?
Pippin, by far.
But he does sing the song. No,
Fuck that song.
I don't dislike Mary. I don't think Mary ever did anything to make me dislike him.
Well, he did do a lot of heroin.
That's not true. That's
Broke
not
up the
canon.
band. Broke up the band Drive Shaft.
No,
That's from Lost.
I
Sorry.
assume so.
All right. Liv Tyler lost Best Actress to Halle Berry
Oh my god.
for the movie Gothica.
Oh, not for X-Men.
No, Gothica, one of the worst movies you've ever seen.
I've never seen it.
I've always liked the title.
Cool
Great title, Gothica. They never explain it in the movie.
With a K, right?
Yeah.
And it's a cool poster. It's like her, like with the rainy window, right?
Yeah, it's all blue. What's
That's kinda
going
cool.
on? Yeah, but they never explain the title. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it is weird.
Why is that movie called Gothica? I still don't know.
I don't know. I really don't.
Somebody tell me. All right. Andy Serkis nominated for Best Sleazebag. You'll recall that's the Teen Choices version of the Best Villain Award at the
That's
MTV.
great.
Yeah. And Sean William Scott won that award for American Wedding that year.
Okay.
The teens loved it.
Yeah.
When he ate that shit.
Sure.
I guess that wasn't sleazebaggy. What do you do in that movie that was sleazebaggy?
I mean, come on. He's Stifler. He's a sleazebag.
Yeah, I guess he was sleazebagging it up.
Yeah.
He was trying to fuck January Jones that whole movie.
Yeah.
All right, and the movie won an action sequence again for something. I don't care.
That's
Let's get it.
crazy. I don't like the action in this movie. It's not as good as the first two.
Yeah, just give it the awards for longest action sequence.
Right. Yeah.
That's all it deserves. All right. Should we start talking about it? Let's talk about this opening flashback, which immediately took me out of the entire franchise.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah.
I think this is like one of the best parts of this whole movie.
No, I think it's good too. I think it's really well shot by Peter Jackson. I like it as an opening to this final film, but there was something I couldn't get past.
Andy Serkis's face.
No.
What?
All right. You're telling me to take these movies seriously, right? This is art.
Yeah.
All right. So in the last movie, you introduced us this character Gollum, and you reveal that before he was Gollum, he had a human name, and it was Smeagol.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now in this movie, you're opening the movie with this very heavy flashback. It feels like they're foreshadowing a lot. It's thematically relevant, and they reveal to us that at the time, Smeagol had a best friend named Deagle.
Correct.
Smeagol and Deagle
Right.
were best friends.
Yeah. What's the deal?
How am I supposed to take anything seriously after that?
I brought up Deagle week 1, and you had a problem. But Deagle's a great name. What else you wanted them to name him?
Something that doesn't rhyme with the main character. Just anything.
You think they should be brothers? You
It'd
think
be
that's
like
the
if they
problem?
named Short Round in Indiana Jones, Flindiana Jones.
That's not the same at all.
It is the same.
No, that would be way worse.
It's crazy. It'd be like if Chewbacca's name was Flan Solo.
No, that's not the same thing. You think these guys should be related, and then you wouldn't have any problems?
I
The
would
fact that
still
they're
have
just random
problems. My
friends.
sister's name isn't Flaniel.
But they do this, like even in the Hobbit, there are those guys like I'm Keely and I'm Feely and we're
Yeah, that
brothers.
sucks.
Okay. So all right, well, so that's your biggest. We're not gonna listen if we're gonna argue about the naming of these people, and I don't want to be.
Listen, it's not a huge complaint. I'm not saying it affected my enjoyment of the movie that much, but like, hey, Tolkien, you're fucking dumb.
Can I ask you something, by the way? Tim said that we were gonna find something very Harry Pottery, and I didn't.
Yeah,
know what he was talking about.
I didn't notice what he meant either.
I was hoping that you would. 'Cause
No, I didn't. I was looking for it too.
I finished the movie, and it's not even this. It's the Hobbit he was talking about, right? And I finished it, and I was like, "What the hell is he talking about?"
It'd be like if in the Matrix, Trinity's name was Cleo.
All right, all right. Are we talking about
No,
I like
I'll
it.
do this
I
for
like
the rest of the
Deagle.
episode. Deagle.
I love Deagle.
Get the fuck out of here, Deagle.
All right.
Oh. Oh my
But
god.
he dies. See, we don't even have to worry about him.
Does he? Yeah, I guess he does.
Yeah,
Smeagol kills
chokes
him.
him to death.
Yeah. All right.
Was that
So
scary?
what-
His little transformation into Gollum? Did that freak you out?
No, it didn't. But it was
When I
it's
was
okay.
a kid, it was pretty.
It's an
creepy.
okay scene, but the whole time I'm watching, I'm just like, "Hey, Smeagol's killing Deagle. That's tough." What would it be like to be murdered by someone?
When I was a kid, I
Your
probably loved it.
name
I was like, "Oh,
rhymes.
that's so cool! Their names rhyme. That's awesome." I
Yeah.
was probably way into it.
I bet you'd be fucking. It would be like really disconcerting to be murdered by somebody named Bogan.
Yeah. To be murdered, I think I wouldn't like very much.
Yeah, but I think it would be even worse. Like if you were murdered by somebody named like Steve, that would at least be like, wow, what a weird fluke thing. But I'm murdered by somebody named Bogan. That is like, oh my, that's so weird. I wouldn't like it. And then it's like some sort of like mystical convergence. You're like a Mumadry.
What?
That a Mumadry, it's like your exact opposite. It's from X-Men. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's like your doppelganger, like that.
Sort of, but it's almost like everything about you it's like your evil half. Yeah,
That's kind of cool.
yeah, whatever. Anyway, let's get into the movie.
So Deagle rules. We both love Deagle.
So obviously, Deagle's a great character,
Yeah.
one of the best.
Was he played by anybody? Did you even notice or anything?
Yeah, it was played by Blandy Blurkus.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, one of my favorite actors. All right. So flash forward to the present day. Let's catch up with our favorite characters. What's going on? I guess Pippin's being a moron again. So let's see what's going on there. He sneaks into Gandalf's bedroom. Okay.
Right. Well, they're all like in the same room. I don't think he sneaks into his bedroom.
All right. So they're just hanging out in the bedroom.
Right.
Now, Gandalf, who's a wizard, instead of doing some sort of spell so that nobody can touch the crystal ball except him while he's sleeping, which I'm sure he could do because there's no rules in this universe and you could do pretty much anything,
Right.
just sleeps with the crystal ball in his arms as though it's a stuffed animal, as though it's my stuffed animal, Brown Bear Barney, that I sleep with at night.
Right. But I think he puts a spell on himself so that his eyes stay open. So like that's supposed to freak people out rather than right. You're right. He should just put a spell on the thing.
Yes, of course he should.
Yeah, that's a good call.
But he doesn't. He just holds it, and Pippin gets in there, and he's like, "I gotta take a look at this thing."
Yeah. Speaking of Indiana Jones, actually, he does like the Raiders of the Lost Ark thing.
Oh yeah, he replaces it with a lamp or
Right.
something,
What a genius.
And Gandalf sleeping that fucking hard that he doesn't notice that?
Yeah, he kind of sucks too.
Like, Gandalf, maybe you shouldn't be the one in charge if you're fucking... if you're not playing good defense on Pippin. All right? I'd maybe accept... Listen, if Aragorn steals that shit, you've got something to say to me. But when you wake up and the whole army is like, what happened? What happened? Gandalf, what happened?
For freaking
Oh,
Pippin.
Pippin stole the crystal ball from me. Like, I'd be like, all right, you don't get to hold the crystal ball anymore, Gandalf. You're done.
Yeah, you're right. But I think he sleeps so deeply so that he can be such a good wizard when he's awake.
God, the amount of mental gymnastics that you have to go through to make these characters not come across like morons. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
All right, so Pippin takes a look into the crystal ball, and he sees Sauron's eye, and he's sort of enraptured by it or something. And that's a nice Deus Ex Machina, because when he looks into the crystal ball, even though it's something we don't want anybody to be doing, he gets a little glimpse into Sauron's war plans.
Right. Yeah. So they go to that place,
Which
I
is
don't really
very
understand.
lazy. I'm just I
No, yeah,
just
it
want to
is.
say it, insanely lazy plotting on the part of J.R.R. Tolkien.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And for some reason, they think that he has the ring now, which I didn't really understand. So then they have to go to Minas Tirith, right? And Pippin,
The City of Kings, by the way.
Yeah, sure. And
I just wanted to bring that up. I feel like if I was a king living in the City of Kings, I would move to a city where there were fewer kings.
yeah, you'd have a better shot of being.
Yeah, I would be more
But you feel
important.
safer probably in the City of Kings, right?
Yeah, but you're just one of many kings.
But it depends your outlook and your ego. I think I'd be fine being one king in a City of Kings. You would have to
But
be
then
the
it's
king.
like everybody's a king. I wouldn't want to be a king in a city where everyone's a king. Then you're not. Then you're just a serf. You're like everybody.
So you would want to be the lone king. That's a lot of responsibility, Dietrich.
I'm saying if I was a king already and I lived amongst kings, I would probably go to a place that
right. If that was
could
already your
use
mentality to be a king,
monarchist rule.
why settle? Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But Pippin sucks. They get to that place and Pippin's like, "All right, now I'm just gonna do whatever you say. I'm gonna now be with you guys because Boromir saved my life. Now I'm gonna be a slave." What's that?
Meanwhile, when they find Pippin at the beginning of the movie, after all of that, they're just like smoking weed.
Yeah,
right?
That's the thing to do.
But they walk in, it's like, oh, hey guys, you seem to be totally fine. Glad we abandoned the most important mission in the history of humanity, for 2 movies ago to go look for you.
They haven't really abandoned it. Like they are still trying to work toward the goal, but just in a different way. They're like taking a detour.
I think it's ridiculous that one of them didn't stay with Frodo still.
Yeah.
I mean, that bread situation never would have happened.
But they probably would have run out sooner.
You think fucking Aragorn would have taken one look at those crumbs and been like, hey, Frodo, fucking Gollum obviously put those crumbs on.
But with Aragorn on the journey, that's more bread you're having to spare. Not you probably run out days before that.
Well, then just kill Gollum.
Yeah. Well, Gollum wouldn't have been on the journey if Aragorn
Good
was
point.
there.
Yeah. You never have to deal with that crumb situation.
And Frodo wouldn't have lost his finger if Gollum's not there. So they
Frodo
really
lost a
messed up.
finger? I don't remember that.
I remember Gollum bites it off of him at the end.
Oh, yeah.
That was awesome.
Right, because he's got the ring on it.
And he's fucking invisible, and he goes from invisible to visible. That's cool. When the ring comes off, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's actually not bad. You're right.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, so the real king of the City of Kings is John Noble. All right, they go visit him, and he's being a weirdo.
Denethor.
Yeah, I was all excited about him at first, and then he's like Sean Bean's dad, and I was like, oh, Jesus.
But you just keep thinking, like, in the last movie, we got Theoden, and Theoden rules. And then this movie, like, the new guy is Denethor, and he sucks.
But that's what I'm saying. I think like Bean is the death of these movies. Anytime you find out a character is somehow related to that Bean guy, you're like, oh, this character's going to suck.
I agree that he and Faramir suck, but that's not Bean's fault.
It's Bean's fault. Because I like John Noble. He shows up in Fringe after this, and I enjoyed him. He played Joshua Jackson's dad. after Lord of the Rings was done coming out, it was like when Game of Thrones finished, where like every time I would see a British actor in something and I didn't recognize them, I would look it up and it would be like, oh, they were on that. They were in the Lord of the Rings movie. And the same thing happened with Game of Thrones. Like everyone, I would start seeing dudes and it's like, who the fuck is this guy? And you'd look him up. It's like, oh, I guess he played Hodor.
Yeah.
But yeah, so John Noble, he's, what is he, Denethor?
Yeah, Denethor.
Sure. All right, so Sauron brings in the Witch King at this point, I guess.
Yeah, the greatest character in Lord of the Rings, I would say.
You love him, the Lord of the Nazgul.
He's the guy that stabbed Frodo in the first movie. You remember that at all?
Yeah. Yeah, well, they try to make him more important. Like, remember when Frodo got stabbed? He was the one that did it. But to me, I was like, well, I mean, Frodo already survived an encounter with this guy. How fucking threatening could he be?
Frodo survives everything. He gets stabbed by this guy. He gets stabbed by the big troll. And then he gets stabbed by the spider. He's just always getting stabbed. He lives, though.
I think we got through the spider. Oh, no, I guess that's later. I'm so ready to talk about that stupid spider. You know, I'll tell you what. The battle happens at this point. Big war. There's a lot of wars in these movies. They all go on for too long. But I'll tell you one thing I appreciate about them.
Mm-hmm.
They're very bloody.
Yeah.
Like, you see dudes bleeding on the battlefield. And I appreciate that because mainstream movies have become so fucking sanitized of blood. You never see any blood in those Marvel movies.
Yeah. No, you're right. When you think about this, like you can picture Aragorn with a bunch of blood on him. You know, there's a bunch of bloody orcs. Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Movies now, they're bloodless. They're bloodless affairs.
And I think I got what you're saying. You texted something about like the action just being like useless sword battles or whatever. But I agree with you, especially in this movie. There's just like useless action all over the place. But
it's just a lot of clanking.
But I do think the sword stuff is cool in these movies. Like I don't know what other movies swords work as well. I think they're
Jason,
really
the Argonauts.
Cool. I haven't seen that, maybe, but I think they're really, and I think especially Viggo. I think Viggo's great with a sword. He really puts his effort into it every time he's swinging the sword. I think Viggo's great.
Yeah, Viggo's awesome. Viggo's great throughout these movies and throughout his career. But Aragorn still sucks in this particular movie. I can't really deal with him too much because he's spending so much time leading an army of ghosts.
Yeah, you're right. And the other time he's like thinking of Arwen.
Dude, those dumb ghosts look like shit.
Yeah, they do. A lot of this, I forgot how much of this movie I don't like.
Well, it's 3 hours and 20 minutes. So that's the thing, is like, there's totally an hour and a half of this movie that's like good shit. Like stuff that I'm into. Like I even as a
like
non-Lord of the Rings guy.
Like what are you into?
How about this? You want me to just go through my notes and look for positives? Okay.
Yeah, what are you into?
How about when Legolas and Gimli had their nice little moment?
Where what? He's like, I don't want to die. Or, I'd be fine dying by a friend at that moment.
He said, I don't want to die or something like that. And
by an elf.
Yeah, right. And Legolas goes, what about side by side with a friend?
Yeah, you like that moment?
Beautiful.
Do you like when they're counting the deaths or seeing who can get more kills?
I don't remember that. But I mean, and then also like when the stuff with Sam and Frodo as they get closer to I guess is it Mount Doom?
Yeah, Mount Doom.
You call that? Like that stuff's all right. And you know, there's some good performances.
When he carries him, do you like that? Do you like? Yeah, I guess Sam's your MVP. You love all that stuff.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I do. You know, and I like some of the stuff early on. I even though the Deagle thing, I like that opening scene. And
do you like something I didn't like in this? We talked about Gollum doing like the Green Goblin stuff, talking to himself in the last movie, but he does it in this movie. But he's actually looking like at his reflection in the water, and I don't like it as much.
Yeah, I didn't like it as much in this movie either. It also just didn't feel like where that character was at that moment in time.
Right, exactly. It felt like they were like, oh, they loved this shit in the last movie.
Yeah, totally. It felt more like a callback.
Yeah, I
Than
didn't like that at all. And
Yeah,
and he's
me
looking
neither.
in the water and it looks weird, I think. I didn't really like that part. I didn't like Gollum, I don't think I like in this movie until the end. And then I'm like, oh, Gollum rules again.
Yeah. Can we talk about the spider now?
Yes, Shelob.
Is that what the name of it is?
Yeah. Do you know the
Okay.
spider's name in Harry Potter real quick?
Fuck, I used to. It starts with an A.
Yep, it's similar to Aragorn.
Yeah, it is. It's Ara something.
Yep.
Arathorn.
No, that's Aragorn's dad.
Yeah, you're right. No, his best friend.
No. It's Aragog.
Aragorn's best friend is Evan Bourne.
What?
That was a joke for you. I referenced a wrestler you like
Yeah, but why?
because it rhymes. Aragorn, Evan Bourne.
But I forgot what I was saying. Oh, the spider, yeah. But the Harry Potter thing, like this,
Wait, what is the name of that spider?
Aragog? So I always
Right.
thought that was a little weird. But the difference between this spider and the spider from Harry Potter is that.
Oh,
like, a
do you
real
think that's
spider.
what Tim's referencing?
I don't think so. Is it a
I
reference?
don't
You
know.
think? I don't think so.
Maybe.
But like that's a real spider in Harry Potter, right? And this spider in this movie is just completely fake the whole time. Not that it's
Wait.
like so terrible.
What are you talking about?
About what part?
What real spider in Harry Potter?
There's a practical. It shows like a real close up of that spider talking to Harry and Ron, and that's what that
yeah,
when it
in the cave or whatever, but it's largely CG. I
Right.
mean, and it is here too.
right. But there is like real practical shots of that spider, and you're like, whoa, that's like a big, cool looking spider.
All
And
right.
this is just like
you know what
all-
I would have done with the spider?
What's that?
Cut it out of the fucking movie because the movie's 3 hours and 20 minutes, and this adds absolutely nothing.
Right. All it does is the orcs take. It leads to the orcs taking him to a tower. But right, you don't need any of this stuff.
Can
But
I tell you something else I remember about this fucking spider? I remember some controversy at the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So when Two Towers came out, the Twin Towers,
Right.
when that movie came out, at the end of the book, they fight this giant spider.
Okay.
All right, it's in the Twin Towers book. So like when that movie came out, all the Lord of the Rings nerds were like, "Oh my god, they cut out the spider. We need the spider."
Yeah.
And Peter Jackson was like, "Don't even worry about it. I filmed the spider. I just think it works better in the third one." So like this is a thing that they knew they didn't need. They knew they could lose, and it's not even part of this book. So you've already got a movie that's running over. It's 20 minutes longer than the other two movies, which are already 1 hour too long apiece. And now you're really going to include this fucking spider thing?
I mean, the Smeagol Deagle stuff is in the first one, and they moved that to this one, which is like not saying that they can't move this to the last one, but that's weird. If he's right and they filmed it for that movie, but then didn't include it. Is that what you're saying?
No. I think in the screenwriting stuff, he was like, the spider stuff doesn't work in Twin Towers, but
he
we
said they filmed
obviously, yeah, but because he knew we couldn't lose it. Like we can't cut the spider out of the movie. We need the spider, obviously. So he just like made the decision to move it to Return of the King. So it's sort of shoehorned in here for no real reason.
Right. No, I agree with you, and I didn't remember that as a kid, like how completely useless the spider is. But
And you're spending like 20 minutes with the fucking thing, with them just hitting it with sticks and shit.
yeah, and it takes a long time for you to get to it too. Where Frodo's just like running through the cave where the spider is, and Gollum
Yeah.
got lost, and he's a lot of taunting him.
I mean, there's a period of the movie where we're like cutting back and forth between Aragorn leading ghosts into battle and Frodo and Sam fighting a spider.
Yeah,
and
that
I'm like,
sucked.
can we move forward in this movie?
Yeah, you're right. That section was the worst part, probably.
Well, second worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, last 20.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. You were right.
Those last 20 are death.
Yeah. And I always defended it. They're like, no, bro, you gotta have those endings. You gotta wrap everything up. It's gotta happen.
Hell no.
Oh my god. It takes like 10 minutes for Frodo to get on that boat at the end.
Yeah, bro. Because here's how you say goodbye to your best friends, obviously. First, stare at them for 20 minutes meaningfully, all right? Then give them a kiss on the head, and you better leave those lips lingering on that forehead for at least 10 more minutes, all right? Next, get onto the boat, look back meaningfully and tenderly at your friend for another full 90 seconds, and then go. That's how you say goodbye to friends, Logan. And that's how I'd like to start saying goodbye to you after every podcast.
It is tender. Like he does look at him lovingly. You buy that they went on a journey and that they love each other, I think.
This is not journey love.
Yeah? You know a lot about journey love? I know journey love. You hate journey. You know journey hate.
I do. No, this is gay lovers. These are gay lovers. And I'm not saying that to be provocative. I'm not saying that to like rip on the movie. I'm not saying that to make a joke.
No, of course
I'm not saying that to like invoke gay panic or anything. Like it's this, they have a romantic chemistry, particularly in this third movie, that is overwhelming to the point where you can't ignore it. You can no longer ignor that.
I ignored it. I didn't really get it.
No, it is part of this movie to the point where there's a moment where is it like before they drop the ring in when they're talking about like what would our lives have been like if we never had to go on this fucking journey, you know?
I think that's after actually.
Oh, maybe. And Sam is like,
I would have married, right?
What was her name?
Rosie.
Rosie. He's like, you know, remember Rosie? And Frodo's like, vaguely, I guess. And
do you remember Rosie? The first time we see Sam, he's gonna go dance with Rosie. Like they do set that up.
Shut up.
I knew you were gonna say that, but they do set it up, whether you want to believe it or not.
I mean, this is a beard.
You think so?
At the end of the journey, you don't still need a beard. Just marry Frodo.
You think that's why he was so mad Gollum was there the whole time? He was like, Gollum, go away.
Yeah, it's cock blocking.
Yeah, maybe. I really didn't pick up on it. I always just thought that they had a great friendship and they went on this great journey together.
The fact that after all of that, Sam is talking about marrying a woman, I think that's why Frodo has to leave the Shire.
He's too heartbroken.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't really remember that Frodo just like left them.
He should. It's a good move.
And also, how is Bilbo still alive? Come on.
How is the Shire okay? You know, at the end of this movie, like they go back to the Shire, nothing's changed, right? The Shire's like they even walk past like a lady who's like, "Humph, like what are you doing back?" You know?
Yeah, they seem pissed, kind of like they're big time now.
It's almost like they haven't even noticed they left, and now they're back, and it's like, oh, these superstars. And what I have to say is, wasn't there a period of time in Fellowship of the Ring, where the only information Sauron had about the ring was that it was the Shire. And that's why Frodo and Sam left the Shire with the ring, because they were afraid that Sauron's army was coming to the Shire.
Right.
So I'm not saying like they should go back and find all of the hobbits dead, even though that would make sense.
It should be like Luke going back home and finding Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru just burnt to a crisp.
I mean, but if they don't want to go that route because they're not coming back until the end of the movie, surely they should at least come back to a depleted Shire, which has had gone through, you know, wartime.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's in like perfect condition and like nothing ever happened. You're absolutely right. Like if the main character in this adventure to go take the ring is from a certain place, they would destroy that place. Especially when that's all I know about him. You're right.
Of course they would. Of course they would.
Yeah.
So, I mean, let's get to the volcano, right? So Frodo's going to drop the ring in, right? And then he's like, nah, I can't, bro. It's too good. I think in that moment, Sam's got to just tackle him.
Where Sam goes in too?
No. I think Frodo's right at the edge of this cliff. All right? Sam's looking at him from afar. Frodo's freaking out, like, oh, I can't do it. I love the ring too much. In that moment, if you're Sam, the fate of the world's resting on you. I know you're in love with this guy, but you also have a beard back at home. Just push him in.
But tackle implies
Push
that
him.
you're going in too.
No, I don't even
Like
think
a
you
spear.
need to.
Like if you're spearing somebody,
You
you're
don't
both
need
going
to.
in there.
I don't think you just do a drop toe hold, trip him off the fucking.
Okay.
cliff.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you can do that. Maybe a sweet
Yeah.
chin music off of there. That would be
Sweet
sweet.
chin music him. Yeah, I don't think Aston's getting his leg up that high though.
No, that'd be sick though. Oh my god. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. But no, you don't want to. You've got all this way, and then you're just gonna push your friend in. Come on. I get what you're saying.
But then you know what? You're the hero. You're the big hero
is
of
that
the
worth
whole
it to
war.
you, though?
No, I mean it's not worth it. I would obviously prefer to get out of it with my friend alive, but
Like,
like,
and it's just you and Gollum. Like, what do you do then? Gollum's gonna try and kill you.
well, I mean you're not with Gollum at that point, right?
I mean, but if yeah, basically. I mean, Gollum shows up right after. If Gollum runs in there and Frodo is now
How
in
the
the
fuck
lava.
is Gollum alive?
I mean, Gollum didn't die. He like led Frodo into the spider, and then Gollum sort of disappears for a while.
He fell off fell off a cliff into an. Every time someone falls into an abyss in these movies, they turn up alive. a while
No, you're
later.
right. Yeah, Bilbo does that in The Hobbit, right? And he's
And
alive.
fucking Gandalf did.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, you can just fall into any abyss, and you're good. That happens in Star Wars too, though.
Yeah, if you ever like fall a really long distance, don't even worry about it. You're fine.
Can I tell you something, by the way? When I was younger, it used to be like a thing, like, oh, if you could only keep one of these movie franchises, which one would it be? There's like Star Wars, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, and it used to be like my thing, like, oh, I love Lord of the Rings so much that I think that's my favorite. When I was like younger, of course, but now it's not even close. Lord of the Rings is way worse than Harry Potter, even though Star Wars has some shitty movies. I love Star Wars way more than Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I mean, look, to me, the argument's the original trilogy versus the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Once you take the outside movies, like the franchise, into consideration, it's complicated because, like, the prequels are terrible. The Hobbit's terrible. Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty much a trash franchise. Are we going to cover that Rings of Power show?
Is that out?
It comes out at the end of August, I think.
I think we can watch the pilot and see how it goes.
You know what I think we should do? Cover the pilot on the main feed, and then people have to pay to hear us talk about the other.
If you really are so into it that you'd watch the whole show, then I would definitely do that.
I think I'm going to watch the whole show. I think I'm sufficiently into Lord of the Rings now where I'd watch a Lord of the Rings TV show.
Okay, and are you excited for the next Hobbits? Or
Which
not-
is a
not
crazy
there?
thing for me to say, by the way.
Absolutely. You hated this 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were not excited. I mean, you're still not excited, but yeah, you've turned around.
I would suck a dick to not have to watch Desolation of Smaug and the Battle of Five Armies. But I will watch a TV show.
You see, when The Hobbit opened and we got a little Smaug stuff, I was like, why can't I just watch Smaug right now? I want to watch that movie. So I am kind of excited for the second one, but not the third one.
I'm not excited after that fucking shitty ending where, like,
I kind
they
of
show
am.
the dragon waking up amidst, like, Scrooge McDuck's pile of gold.
I kind of am. It's like so weird, and it's like it's Benedict Cumberbatch, and I don't have to look at him. So I'm
He's
kind of into it.
Benedict Cumberbatch is
Oh, you didn't know
Smaug.
that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Benedict is Smaug. Yeah,
That's so stupid.
no, I think he's gonna be pretty good. If you, by the way, if you want to find some great stuff, go on YouTube and look up like Benedict acting as Smaug. It's hilarious.
Wait, he does motion capture?
Oh yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah, it's hilarious. You got to look up those videos.
Oh, that sounds good, guys. All right.
Now you're.
Oh, I am excited. Boy. All right. So, I mean, let's talk about the end. So, the epilogue, like, I mean, Frodo didn't even know Gandalf was alive. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, but they save him with the eagles. Do you like that? You hated the eagles.
I hate the giant birds in these movies, and they come back in the fucking Hobbit.
Yeah, they do.
It's like anytime they write themselves into a corner where a character gets too high, they have to have an eagle rescue them. But meanwhile, what is up with in Lord of the Rings? They're constantly talking about mountains. Like, we're going to go to Mount Doom. We're going to climb these mountains. But they never climb. We never see them on, like, the side of a mountain. They're always, like, entering mountains. Does every mountain in Lord of the Rings have, like, a door you can go in and you can just walk through the mountains?
I guess the closest we saw was actually Frodo, Sam, and Gollum. They kind of climb a mountain, right?
Probably the closest we ever see them climbing is that fucking crumb shit.
Yeah, but yeah, they're climbing a mountain there. They're like going up the stairs to the spider. That's sort of climbing the mountain. But yeah, you're right.
What?
They never
Stairs? Mountains all have stairs in these movies.
Yeah, you're right. They never actually really climb mountains. Did we talk about Theoden dying? How'd you feel about that?
That's fine. He's better in the last movie.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. He's good in this though.
He's fine. But like, I just feel like we've used him. Like, we've used him up already. Like, we don't have anything left for him in this movie.
Yeah. The Witch King guy says no man can kill me, and then she kills him and says I am no man or whatever. If a man did that, would he still die? Like, is he being honest when he says that? Or is that
No,
just
you
like a
can-
thing he says? Is like,
You can only be killed by a vagina.
is that true though? Like, if a man stabbed him in the face, would he still die?
Nope. It would heal. Let me ask you a question here, Logan. If a man wanted to kill him and was unsuccessful, could he transition into a woman and then be able to kill him?
No, I think in his mind and in his heart, he would have to feel like a woman. I don't think he can
I think you sound very turfy.
What are you talking about? I don't think he can. I think he has to believe that he's a woman. I don't think you
What
can
if
just.
he does? What if he does?
If he does, then it would work. But if he doesn't, if he's just putting on the act, I don't think it would work. I think like in his heart, he would. Have
Oh,
to
I
believe
see
it.
what you mean. It can't be like strategy.
Right. He has to really believe it.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, I'm trying to blame me.
All right, I shouldn't have said turf.
No, you should not have.
You're no JK.
No, I'm not.
All right. They do like an award ceremony, sort of like in Star Wars.
But it's like a king. It's like the king initiation for Aragorn.
Yeah, but at one point, the whole city bows. Like, and I understand, like, Sam and Frodo did like an amazing thing, but Pippin and Merry are there too. It's an entire city bowing to Pippin and Merry.
No, I think they were bowing to Frodo and Sam, and Pippin and Merry just didn't bow.
It's the four of them. They're bowing to the four hobbits. And Pippin and Merry do not belong as part of this.
I don't think. I mean, I get that they do bow to that, but I don't think it was. We're gonna bow to the four great hobbits. I think it was.
That's how it felt to me.
I think it was like Frodo and Sam. They bow, and then Aragorn's like, "No, we're gonna bow to you guys."
Are you kidding me? We cut to like fucking Merry and Pippin's faces, and they're like chuffed by this.
I know. I think that they misunderstood. I think that's the problem. I think they were supposed to bow, but didn't. They think it's for them.
I think
but
you
it's not.
misunderstood.
I did not. I love this scene. I've seen it many times.
All right. All right. So then Sam gets married to some older lady, and
She's cute.
Bill. She's all right. And then Frodo writes a book, and I like this. The one good part of this, I really did like the part where he's driving with Ian Holm as Bilbo in the old age makeup. And
It might not be makeup at this point. How old are you at home? No, I guess.
I mean,
no.
I think there's still some application out
There
there, even though,
definitely is.
yeah. But Ian Holm, and he's like, "Hey, that ring I gave you that one time."
I thought
Can
that was
get
sad.
One more. It was. There's something really melancholy about that.
He
moment
can't
that I
tell
really
his
enjoyed.
uncle about his journey because it would like break his heart that the ring is gone. I think that's very sad.
And he says, "I lost it," and he just, "Oh, what a pity."
yeah.
So
that's very,
that is nice. It's honestly one of the deeper scenes in the entire franchise.
no, I agree with you. I'm glad you brought that up because I think it's like it's very sad from on both of their sides. Like it's sad for Frodo that he can't like open up and tell him about this great journey that he had, and it's also sad for Bilbo that he doesn't really know what happened. It's the end
And
of his
Frodo's
life.
sad already because, he just completed this great journey with his lover, and now his lover is leaving him.
Yeah, you're right. That is a bummer.
Yeah.
Which ending? Where do you think it should have ended? Do you think it should have ended with them on the rocks with the eagles getting them? Did you need Frodo to get on the boat?
Uh, what? No, it should have ended with them talking at Mount Doom. You know that scene I was talking about where it's like,
The first ending, you think?
I mean,
Because that's the
what's
first one.
is that the first one? Yeah, that
Yeah.
ending. It should
And
have
then
ended
the second
there.
when the eagles come. You don't even think the eagles should have picked them up?
No, I definitely don't want to see the eagle. And then it's like, fine, you can end it, I guess, at the awards ceremony or whatever. But then it doesn't end there. We go back to the
Right.
shot. There's so much. They do not want to end this. And I watched The Hobbit. I watched The Hobbit right after this. So like I'm watching the last 20 minutes of this movie. And like to a normal person like who saw this in 2003, it's like this is my last taste of this universe. Like even though like this is running long, like let me just like soak it in.
Yeah, they
you
probably
know?
loved it.
That's fine. But like now it was so frustrating watching just 30 minutes of nothing happening when it's like, oh, come on, I gotta watch another one of these fucking things.
What do you think's better, this movie or Endgame?
Avengers Endgame?
Yeah,
Look,
you have to think about it.
yeah, because this is a better made movie. This is a better movie on a script level and on a filmmaking level. It just is. The fact of the matter is,
There's so much wasted time though.
There it is, but there is in Endgame too. I grew up on those Marvel characters. I just did. I read them. I still read Marvel comics. Like I was always going to like Endgame on some level. I think as a fan of the cinema, this is probably a better movie.
Interesting, because I think Endgame is better, and I would have never said that. But the reason I say that is that was like my thinking when Endgame came out was that's going to win Best Picture the way this did. I thought they were really
What?
I thought they
You're
were really
nuts.
going to reward the MCU.
Marvel will never win Best Picture. They're not real movies.
And that was like after Black Panther was nominated. I thought they were like laying the groundwork for them to nominate.
It was
more
stupid
stuff.
that Black Panther was nominated,
I
to
agree
be
with you.
honest.
No, I agree with you. But I thought they were really laying the groundwork, and I thought it was going to happen, but it didn't. I think Endgame is better.
I actually think you're not wrong. Like if Avengers Endgame was a really great film, I think it would have snuck into the awards conversation.
Would you give it
But
4 stars? I think that's a great
because
movie.
I love it. Because I love it. It's like what I said about Spider-Man No Way Home. Like, what am I going to complain about this miracle?
Endgame is better than that.
No, I know. But like, when I think of Endgame, I just think of all the chaos and shit. I don't think of like specific character moments I like. When I read comics, I never
like Iron Man at home with his daughter. That's good stuff.
His daughter.
Remember his little daughter? He's like, "I love you, 3000," and she's like real cute, and he does time travel shit. You need to watch Endgame.
No
again.
memory of that.
You need to watch Endgame.
Maybe. I don't know. I liked Endgame at the time. I also saw it in theaters with a girl who had never seen a Marvel movie before.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I probably had that in my head. Anyway. Maybe that deserves a rewatch from me. But come on. Peter Jackson.
So you give this 4 stars?
No, I'm gonna give it 3.
Whoa.
I'm gonna give it and you might say like, why are you saying it's better even though I gave Endgame a higher grade? And it's just a personal taste thing, you know. Like to me, Return of the King, it's a 3.5 hour movie with a shit ton of wasted time, a lot of dumb stuff, a lot of Deus Ex Machinas, but it's undeniably epic. It's really well made. Some of the shots are spectacular. It's well cast up and down the line. It's enormous. Like honestly, you have to just sort of give it to these movies for being an achievement.
Yeah, and I think that's what they did. That's all it was.
Yeah,
I'm very surprised you gave it a 3 because I was even thinking about giving it a 2. I was between a 2 and a 3.
I almost gave it a 2. You know, I probably was at a 2 when I finished these movies, and then I watched The Hobbit, and I was like,
Wow.
It's just so on a different level.
Yeah, it really is. Like it's not even close, the difference between these two movies.
No.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I give
it's
it 3
like
stars
fucking
too.
Raiders of the Lost Ark and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Yeah, that's a good call. Now, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is better than The Hobbit.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
Yeah, I think it's not even close. Anyway,
I think it's closer than you think.
all right, we both give it 3 stars. I guess not great for Best Picture winner, but what are you gonna do?
But great for me. Like,
no,
think
absolutely.
about how much I've hated
A
these
4,
movies
a
for
3, and a 3.
years.
No, you gave them all 3s, didn't you?
No, I gave it 3s across the board.
I gave
yeah.
4, 3, 3. Yeah, you're right. That's great. And you said before it was a 2-2-1, right?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I think I'd rank them 1, 3, 2.
Whoa, really? I would go 1, 2, 3. I think the
Mm.
Theoden stuff is way better than anything in 3, probably.
I don't disagree, but
and Gollum is better, I think, kind of in 2.
yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
The stupid
that
spider's
might
not
be
in 2.
accurate.
And this one's
you're
longer.
right.
This one's like 30, 40 minutes longer. Maybe 30 minutes.
You might be convincing me. I'll think about it.
Yeah. But we don't have to rank them yet.
All right. Well, who's your MVP?
Well, it's tough. It's not Aragorn, even though I love Aragorn. I was thinking it's between Ian McKellen and Andy Serkis, and I think I went Serkis the last movie, and I haven't gone McKellen the whole time. I think I'm gonna go Ian McKellen. I like his
Ian
horse in this
McKellen-
movie, Shadowfax. You like Shadowfax?
Was that the Lord of Horses?
Yeah, they gave him a name in this one. And he does more. He kicks Denethor into the fire and burns Denethor alive, and then Denethor runs off the side of that mountain or whatever.
So lame.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go with Aston. He's my MVP.
Right. Yeah. All right. My LVP, it's tough. He's barely in the movie, but I think Hugo Weaving, every time he steps on screen, I want to turn the movie off.
Bro, that's a great choice.
You could go Liv Tyler, too. I don't understand why she's dying in this movie.
Well, because she chose not to be immortal anymore, I guess.
Is that what that means?
I guess so.
So if she chooses to be with Aragorn, then she is no longer immortal?
Yeah. She's gonna live like a normal life.
I thought the problem was like she would still live forever, but she knows that Aragorn is gonna die. So,
Oh yeah, maybe that's it.
but then why is she dying? At one point,
I don't know. Maybe I don't give a shit. Maybe I don't fucking care. LVP Liv Tyler.
Wow. All right. So Hugo Weaving and Liv Tyler. We can agree they're the two worst parts of these movies, right? Like,
Yeah.
take them out and nothing changes.
No, I think the casting is perfect up and down the line, man. Until you reach those two.
But even those characters suck, especially Liv Tyler's character.
Well, J.R.R. Tolkien has never spoken to a woman and clearly has no interest in women.
He got Eowyn right, kind of. Eowyn's pretty good.
Yeah.
She's pretty good. I like Eowyn.
Yeah, he just writes her as a man.
Yeah, I guess you're right. She's kind of like Mulan, kind of.
She is a little like Mulan, yeah.
Okay. All right. We did LVPs.
Yeah, we fucking nailed it. You want to get into The Hobbit?
Yeah, I'd love to.
I can't wait. All right. Here it comes. The Hobbit. It's a very unexpected journey for everybody involved. Let's talk about the development of the Hobbit films. Are you familiar with were you following that at the time?
I know Guillermo was on it, right?
Yeah.
And then he wasn't. He made Pacific Rim.
Is that what he did instead?
Yeah, I think after this there was like
That
stuff.
movie fucking sucks too.
It's better than this. It's way better than this.
Well, I mean, what isn't?
Yeah.
All right. So
I would have liked to see this, by the way. Guillermo del Toro making these. Would have been kind of interesting.
I would have loved it if they never made these.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Especially the next one, like the Desolation of Smaug. That could be kind of cool with Guillermo. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't find Guillermo to be good. Like, I think Peter Jackson's a better filmmaker than Guillermo del Toro.
Maybe, but he probably could have made the thing. Like, he probably could have made the trolls better in this movie.
It
right?
would have been different, at least. Like Peter Jackson just made The Hobbit into like a shittier version of the movies he already made, whereas Guillermo del Toro was supposedly developing a more fairy tale tone kind of a thing. Playing into the fact that The Hobbit was a kid's book. It would have at least been different, which would have been appreciated.
Right.
All right. So after The Lord of the Rings Return of the King blows up the box office at the end of 2003, Peter Jackson wants to get his hairy little mitts on some more money, baby. So he sues New Line in 2005, saying they didn't give him enough money.
Oh my God. You can do that?
Yeah, everything's about money. And New Line responded by calling him greedy publicly
Yeah.
and saying that he would never work for them again.
He's like Smaug a little bit.
Yeah. Then he won the lawsuit.
Oh my god.
It turned out they were withholding shit from him.
Wow. Good for you.
Yeah.
Is that what ScarJo did a
Incredible.
little bit? What did ScarJo do?
Something like that, yeah.
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 Whatever.
That did seem kind of greedy, to be honest. Although Disney handled it like shit too. They both came across disgusting in that moment.
Yeah.
All right. So the lawsuit settled. Peter Jackson's got his money, but New Line has said he'd never work for them again. So in 2007, they're trying to get The Hobbit off the ground. They realize, I think we got to work with Peter Jackson.
Damn it.
Yeah. So, they don't want to work with him as a director, though, and he thankfully doesn't really want to direct these movies. So he says, "I'll executive produce them, and I'll work on the screenplays." You know,
With
and
his
we'll
wife?
make them as with Fran Walsh and Philippa Boyan's also his co-writer from the
Okay.
originals. And so he said, the three of us are going to co-write 2 movies, a 2-part Hobbit, with Guillermo del Toro. All right. And then they're going to come out in 2011 and 2012. Okay. And what it was supposed to be was that the first movie was pretty much an adaptation of the Hobbit book. So, like, the 3 movies they ended up making would have been done in the first movie.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And then the second movie was going to mostly just tie The Hobbit to The Lord of the Rings. So a
Okay.
lot of the stuff that we see in these movies with like Legolas and Gandalf and
Gandalf's in the whole thing, by the way.
Yeah,
Who
which
knew
he's not
that?
supposed to be, and Saruman who shows up, like all that shit was supposed to be in the second one.
Okay.
All
Okay. Would have been much better.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So Del Toro signed on officially in 2008, and the movies were going full force in development for that 11-12 release, and then he quits in 2010, blaming MGM. He says MGM is because MGM co-holds the Hobbit rights with New Line for some reason,
Mm-hmm.
and apparently they're fucking up his vibe, you know. And this happens all the time with Del Toro. He signs on for movies and they don't get made. It's the opposite for Peter Jackson. Peter Jackson signs on to movies, they always get made.
Yeah. What is it, like creative differences?
I just think like Guillermo del Toro is comfortable saying fuck it and leaving, whereas like Peter Jackson gets attached to his projects and has to complete them in some form.
Well, I don't see a problem with either way.
I kind of don't either, to be honest, but I prefer Guillermo's, to be honest.
Yeah. Whenever you said that, I was like, all right, good for Guillermo. And then you said the other one, I was like, all right, good for Peter Jackson. Either way, I think that's fine.
To me, if you're not going to be able to make your art the way,
But if he gets
it would
attached
be-
to it and he does put his all into it, then, you know.
well, that's what ended up happening. Was Guillermo quit in 2010, and Peter Jackson looked at what was going on. They talked about maybe hiring another director. They actually looked, I think, at Neil Blomkamp, the guy that had done District 9.
Yeah. Okay.
But what ended up happening was he decided that if they hired a new director, they would have to totally restart pre-production, like fit the movie to that director's style and what he wants to do, his
Right.
vision. Whereas if Peter Jackson just decided to direct it, he could direct like his version of what they were already doing and not have to change anything.
Right. Didn't that happen with Ralph Bakshi a little bit?
Kind of, yeah. Good point. That's
Yeah.
sort of the history of this franchise.
Yeah.
And
Should have got him back. That would have been cool.
hell, they should work together. That would have been good. Yeah. So Jackson films the 2 movies, and then decides, I've filmed so much, there should be a 3rd movie. All right. But he hadn't filmed enough to edit it into 3 movies. So he gets more money from New Line and MGM, and he goes and does reshoots. It's not even reshoots, it's just additional shooting to try and fill out these movies. And
Oh my
that is
God.
not the way to make movies.
No, no, it is not. To make like 2.2 movies and be like, well, I guess I'll make 3.
Yeah. No. Edit it down to 2. Don't film it up to 3.
Right.
Especially when you're talking about like when he says they don't have enough footage for like a third movie, does he mean they only had 2 hours?
Right.
They needed a third?
Right. That's what I'm thinking. And how long do they consider it to be a movie? Like, is it 2.5 hours? Is it a full 3 hours?
I mean, has Peter Jackson ever watched a 90-minute movie and felt like he was done watching that movie, or does he feel there needs to be an additional hour?
I think probably. I think that these he just felt like they have to be so. He's probably thinks he's gonna win another Oscar.
At the end of Sleepless in Seattle, is he like, what happens next? Tell me.
Yeah. We saw his kids, by the way, in that third one. Did I bring that up?
Enough of this guy's fucking kids.
They're still looking cute.
I noticed him in the third one.
Oh, really? I didn't see him, but I did see his kids.
Oh, no, not in the third one. In this one, in The Hobbit.
Oh, he's in The Hobbit. I didn't see him in The Hobbit.
Yeah. At the very beginning, like when Smaug is like, infiltrating that village or something. He's like running away.
Okay. All right. That I was kind of into, actually. The beginning of this movie was the best part for me.
Well, I kind of was too, in as much as I was still following.
Right.
Like
exactly.
I was, I was still interested in what was happening. At a certain point, I just gave up.
Yeah.
Not because it was hard to follow, but just because I couldn't fucking care. All right. So, I mean, we'll talk. It came out December 14th, 2012, on a budget of $315 million.
What the hell?
So think about
serious?
that. Each of these Hobbit movies individually cost 3 times as much as each of the Lord of the Rings movies.
Right. They were like 94 million.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's kind of, I mean, even Marvel is like 250 million, right? It's like normally what movies cost.
Marvel's starting to get up there. It's bad. Yeah, but don't even worry about it because this movie made $1 billion at the box office.
Wow. Yeah. All right.
It's the number 5 movie.
I didn't see it in the theater, did you?
No, of course. I haven't seen it until yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Number 5 movie of 2012. You got the others?
Oh, I can guess. The Avengers?
Yeah, that's number 1.
The Dark Knight Rises?
Number 2. Did I just belch into the mic? I tried not to.
No, not really. There's
Okay,
Twilight Ends.
Yeah, that's number 6.
And when Twilight ends, the Hunger Games begins.
Right. Yeah, that's number 3. Good job.
What else? Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, number 7.
Ted?
You're very good at. Yeah, Ted's snuck
seriously?
in there.
Oh
Number
my God.
9. Yeah.
I think that's it.
All right. Well, you're missing 10 and 8. That's it. No, and 4.
I think that's it.
Come on. All right. Well, 10 is Madagascar 3.
Oh.
I believe that's Europe's Most Wanted. Okay.
Okay.
I might be wrong about that. Number 8 was Brave. All those Pixar movies make money.
Wow.
And number 4, Skyfall.
Oh, Skyfall.
Yeah.
All right.
Which
Brave. That
Henry
seems late. For
Henry
Brave.
recently rewatched Skyfall. Gave it 5 stars.
Does it seem like Brave came out longer than 10 years ago?
I mean, I didn't see Brave.
I feel like Brave was like pre Toy Story 3.
No.
All right. I mean, you're right.
All right. Hey, believe it or not, The Hobbit was still nominated for a bunch of awards.
Wow.
Yeah. Let's talk about it. Oscar time. Nominated for 3.
Yeah.
Production design, it lost to Lincoln.
Okay.
All right. Makeup and hair, it lost to Les Miserables.
All right.
All right. And visual effects, Life of Pi.
Good. This movie looks horrible.
Yeah, it looks like trash.
Yeah, literally all of it.
All right. BAFTAs. Makeup and hair, it lost to Les Mis. Sound, it lost to Les Mis. Oh, remember why?
Why? Because they sing?
Because they filmed usually musicals, they have the actors they lip sync and then they add the music in post.
Oh, but they didn't for that?
But in Les Mis, they had them just sing on they filmed the camera.
That's cool.
In camera singing.
All right.
So that's why they gave it best sound, because it was doing something different.
I mean, that's cool. You sound like you're dissing it. Good for them.
I mean, I'm dissing it only because it was a bad movie, but I mean, it wasn't a bad idea in theory.
Yeah, they could have done it the
All right.
stupid way.
I guess. Visual effects, It Lost a Life of Pi. You like that movie, right?
I've never seen it all the way through, but it definitely looks better in this movie.
All right. Saturn Awards. You excited for this?
Yeah, always.
What did they have to say about The Hobbit?
Probably hated it.
No, it's not. What do you mean? It's a big fantasy movie.
It probably didn't win, though.
Well, let's find out. Martin Freeman was nominated for Best Actor,
Okay.
and he lost to Matthew McConaughey in Killer Joe.
All right. Haven't seen that, but
which
he's probably
is-
better.
That's a baller-ass movie.
Yeah.
He makes someone...
This is pre-reconnaissance, right?
Yeah, well, it's the very beginning of the reconnaissance. This Killer Joe was part of the beginning of the reconnaissance.
Oh, really? I thought that wasn't that Dallas Buyers Club, really?
Well, that took it into the mainstream.
Okay.
All right.
But this started.
But
All right.
Yeah, Killer Joe was sort of the beginning of it. This and Mud, those movies.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember he makes a woman blow him with a chicken. He holds
Makes
out
her?
like a drums. Yeah, he's like a redneck fucking sociopath in Killer Joe. He holds a chicken drumstick where like his dick would be, and he forces a woman to suck it.
The chicken.
The chicken.
What the hell? All right. I got to watch this movie.
It's a great movie.
All right.
All right. Best costumes, it lost to Les Mis. Don't ask me why Les Mis was getting nominated for Saturn Awards. Best director, how about this? Peter Jackson nominated. He lost to somebody who's since been canceled. Joss Whedon for The Avengers.
Yeah, makes sense. They didn't love the Hunger
Mhm.
Games? Was Hunger Games not nominated for stuff?
Lawrence won actress, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Best fantasy film, it lost to Life of Pi.
Okay.
All right. He fantasized that there was a tiger on his boat.
Yeah, and it happened.
Best makeup. Yep. Best makeup, they lost to Cloud Atlas. There was a lot of makeup in that movie.
Sure. Which one's longer? This or Cloud Atlas?
This feels longer. Best music, it lost to Danny Elfman for Frankenweenie.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. And then it won Best Production Design. It lost visual effects to The Avengers. And then how about this one? This is my favorite. Ian McKellen, nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
He's kind of the lead.
Well, I guess you're not wrong. I guess Martin Freeman they thought of as the lead, but he's in it a lot.
I really think Ian McKellen's in this movie more than any of the Lord of the Rings. Like in those, he dies and shows up late when he's supposed to be dead. I think he's in this. Like he's in every scene of this movie.
You know
kind of.
why? Because they know none of the other characters are good.
Yeah.
Like in the Lord of the Rings movies, you can like cut from thing to thing, and there's always going to be somebody you care about.
Right.
In this, not the case. Not the case at all.
Right. You'll cut to like the bad guy for 2 seconds, and then you cut immediately just back to Ian McKellen.
I mean, in Lord of the Rings, it's like, remember the Council of Elrond in the first one?
Oh, of course. Do I remember the Council of Elrond?
Or yeah, who am I asking? So in the Council of Elrond, they set forth the Fellowship of the Ring, right? And they introduce them. It's like 4 hobbits, and it's like, hey, there's Vigo, he's like a superhero, and there's Legolas, he's like a young cool guy, and then we got Dwarf Gimli, he's gonna say some funny shit. We've got
Fucking
like
Boromir looking cool as hell.
all right. And it's like, it's a diverse crew of interesting characters, all of whom we care about. Now, in this movie, you spend 45 minutes setting up a fellowship in fucking Bilbo Baggins' living room.
Right.
And then it's like, all right, here's our fellowship. It's going to be me, Gandalf, you, Bilbo, and then 7 completely interchangeable
Not even
dwarves.
7. There's like 13 of them. Like
13. You're right. There were 13.
At least in the other one, there are 7 people, and you get to know these people. But here, can you name 3 of them?
I can't name one of them.
I know Feely and Keely or whatever. They're like brothers who like they are cool with the bow and arrow. But that's
I
it.
can tell you the one that's my LVP. That's it.
Thorin? Is it Thorin?
I don't know the character's name, just the actor's name.
What's the actor's name?
Richard Armitage.
Yeah, he's Thorin. Yeah, he's like the prince guy.
Fuck that character.
I couldn't tell if that was him or if that was more the character. The character
It's
sucks.
both. It's fucking both.
He's just always
and they
whining
hire this Richard Armitage because he's like he's supposed to be the Vigo for this movie, clearly, right? Because he's like a good-looking dude. He's the most heroic of them, but it's a fucking dwarf. So they're all ugly. Every single dwarf is hideously ugly with a huge bulbous nose. And because we need this guy to be like the hero of the movie, we like, oh, he's a little handsomer than the rest.
Right.
It's so fucking lame.
Yeah, but you don't root for him at all. Everything he says is like, oh, that Azog guy, I killed him a long time ago, but he killed my dad, and I'm gonna cry. I hate all the orcs. But then he doesn't even kill him.
I think
he's a dummy.
He raped his dad too. I felt like telling him that.
You think he raped his dad?
This guy's name is Azog the Defiler. He's definitely doing some fucking defiling.
Yeah, the Defiler is weird. I did think about that too, but I didn't know if he raped his dad or not. That's
Are you
upsetting.
kidding? He might as well be like Azog the Raper.
Yeah, that's upsetting. All right, I'm sorry. I guess he has room to complain then. I'm sorry for.
All right.
He was my LVP too, by the way. I'll say it, but maybe I'll rethink it.
Hey, I forgot to tell you who beat Ian McKellen for supporting actor at the Saturn.
Oh yes, please. Mark Wahlberg.
All right, check this out. No, Clark Gregg for the Avengers.
What? Oh my god.
Yeah, because he had that one death scene.
Yeah.
So fucking lame.
Okay.
Well, you fucking nerds. You nerds at the Saturn Awards. You should be embarrassed for that one. It's like when they gave Rebecca Romijn Best Supporting Actress for X-Men just because she shows her boobs.
Well, that's cool. The one where she dies and she like turns into Rebecca Romijn.
No,
the third one?
Fucking first one. The first one where she has nothing to do.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, that's weird.
It is weird. All right, MTV. Let's hear that theme again.
I want my MTV.
Martin Freeman won Best Hero.
Wow.
Yeah. It also won Best Action Sequence. And
what? When? Where?
I know. I don't even know which one. And Martin Freeman was also nominated for Best Scared as Shit Performance, which is supposed to be for horror actors, but I don't know why he ended up there.
Okay.
And the winner was actually Suraj Sharma for Life of Pi. I guess she was scared of that tiger.
All right.
All right. So you want to talk about this fucking movie?
Yes. I'm really trying to think of like an action scene that was cool, and I can't do it.
I can. There was one action sequence I thought was cool.
Which one?
It starts lame but gets cool because
the rock giants?
Yes.
What? You thought that was cool?
Because it starts with maybe the dumbest line in the movie when he goes, "This is no thunderstorm, it's a thunder battle."
Yeah, and it got better for you after that?
Yeah, because once there were stone giants, like they looked pretty cool.
Yeah, but what are we doing? And it's like it's so
No,
dark.
I agree. Listen, I completely agree. What are we doing? Because another thing that we're doing in that scene is, oh my God, the legends are true. The stone giants do exist. And it's like,
okay.
you can't, these movies, they have no rules, okay? You can't show me a stone giant. I didn't know they existed. So in that moment, you're telling me, not only do stone giants exist in this universe, but there have been legends about them.
But we don't know that.
And the legends are true. Yeah, I mean, in the same moment you're telling me about the thing, you're telling me that they're supposed to be legendary.
Right, that's meaningless to me.
It's completely meaningless to me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that is the best action scene in the movie, but it's just because the others, like, they're throwing pine cones. And I can't even think of another action scene. Those are like the two action scenes. Did you like Radagast? I kind of like that guy. He like runs around
the brown,
with his little... Yeah.
Radagast the Brown?
Yeah, he kind of runs around with rabbits. I kind of like that.
No, I didn't like it. I don't like how every fucking character in this movie has like annoying fucking makeup applications all over their faces. And it's not even makeup. I feel like everything in the original movies was so practical. There's so much CGI in this garbage.
Yeah. Yeah, no, these look terrible. Now they've completely given up. It seems.
And he filmed it in 3D, so everything looks too dark. And
Oh, that's
and he
interesting.
fucking and he did this weird thing where he filmed it in a higher frame rate.
Oh
than most
yeah, they did do
movies.
that with
Yeah, and but only certain theaters carried it in the proper frame rate. So I mean, everything about these movies, it's just this movie is built to suck.
Right. It's built to work one time, but it probably didn't even work one time in the theater.
Yeah,
At least it made money. I guess that was its goal. It did make money. People did
Yeah.
see it that one time.
it did. But I mean, the originals are like classics that like certain people will watch like once a year.
No,
Is that true
absolutely.
of these movies? Have
No.
people convinced themselves they have Stockholm syndrome with these movies? Because like
Ian Holm syndrome.
it was an interesting. It was good. It was an interesting thing for me because I'm on Letterboxd, which is the social media thing for movies where you review movies that you've seen, and that didn't exist in 2001, 2002, 2003. So every review of the Lord of the Rings trilogy on there is from now, like discussing it like it's a modern classic or whatever.
Right.
Whereas the reviews for the Hobbit movies, Letterboxd as an app existed already. So like I'm reading like people going to Letterboxd after coming out of this movie in theaters and talking about it, and it's so interesting reading those reviews. It's all Lord of the Rings fans just like wrestling with their feelings. It reminded me of like right after I saw The Phantom Menace.
Right. I'm sure it is the same as that. But also
And you see the reviews go down over the years. Like sometimes you can see them in like 2012 giving the movie a 4, and then they rewatch the movie like a year later. Oh, it's a 3 now. Interesting.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm sure if you go to was Rotten Tomatoes around when the originals came out?
No, of course.
I'm
but
sure if
like
you
that,
can read
that's,
reviews on there from at the time.
Yes, but that's critics' reviews, and it's like nascent
Yeah, I guess
internet
so.
shit. It's interesting to see it from like a film buff perspective.
definitely,
like
that is
how
interesting.
how these movies were received.
Right. But I feel like I was gonna say a lot of people probably skipped them, but they clearly didn't. People saw them. It almost made as much as the last movie.
Made over $1 billion at the box office.
Yeah, and a
billion.
long time ago too, 10 years ago.
Yeah. Hey, Logan, remind me never to say good morning to Gandalf.
Oh yeah, what was his deal with that? He didn't like. They were like he was throwing quips, right?
Yeah, he does that whole thing where it's like, good morning, why don't you show me? Like, he's trying to, like, get in my head scientifically. Like, it's like when you say, can I go to the bathroom? And the
Can
teacher's
I
like,
or may I?
I don't know, can you? Why don't you shut the fuck up? You know what I'm asking.
Right. Is it good because it's good for you, or are you wishing a good one for me? Yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly. Fuck you. It was a pleasantry.
Right, and that was that the first time they ever met too? And he's like that much of a dick to him. Oh no,
I
would
think
never
they
like
like met. I think they met in passing like years ago, and now and Gandalf just like recruits Bilbo. Like you're it. You're the guy.
Yeah,
you're gonna
why?
be part of it. Yeah, why?
Yeah, I didn't
Of
really
all
understand
the
that.
like, once Bilbo is like, I don't want to do this.
I get that it has to be a hobbit. They sort of explain that like Smaug can't smell hobbits, but he can
Right,
smell
right.
dwarves. So I get that, but why? Yeah,
That's
why
Gandalf's
Bilbo?
only idea. If Gandalf can't figure out how to complete a mission, get a hobbit to do it.
Yeah, but why this guy when he's saying I don't want to do it? Yeah, Gandalf's a
Yeah,
dick.
as far as I'm concerned, there's something called consent. All right, that still exists in Middle Earth. All right, so if I'm telling you, I don't want to fucking do this. I want to stay at home with my garden, and Gandalf's giving him shit for the stuff he's interested in. Like, when did your mother's plates become so interesting? Like, it's none of your fucking business. All right, what interests me and what matters to me, that is up to me,
Right,
bitch.
right. Ugh, this movie's exhausting.
Fucking hate Gandalf.
Did you like when they go to like that gold city and there's that fat goblin guy?
I mean, by that point, I'm already just like, I'm not watching.
Yeah. By that part, you're like, we're introducing new. I want to wrap up now. Why are we introducing new people?
I know, and there's so much of that. I mean, once we got to Hugo Weaving, like I'm just trying to
And
get
Christopher
through.
Lee's in this movie.
I know. I'm doing is trying to get through this fucking thing by that point. It's like 90 minutes in, and now you're gonna bring in fucking Hugo Weaving,
Yeah.
and it's like, all right, well, what? At least it's characters from the original movie. Maybe there'll be like callbacks and Easter eggs and shit. But no, we're just gonna get Hugo Weaving to pretend to translate Elvish for like 20 straight minutes. It's one of those boring things I've ever watched in a movie.
Yeah. No, it really sucks. I was gonna be like, what's the worst scene in the movie? Because there are just so many scenes. But I mean, seeing Hugo Weaving like sucked. I don't know if that's the worst because there are
The worst scenes Bilbo's just because it goes on for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
The Hobbit hole.
What about?
I mean, you feel fucking trapped in there.
What about when they go to the other trolls? There's like mountain trolls that they see, and then they try and take the horses, right? And they're gonna eat them. They like have them on a thing over the fire.
Who gives a shit? Yeah, that sucked. I think I sent you a picture at that
You
point.
did.
Like, I'm bored. I'm pretty bored.
Yeah.
But
it only gets worse. Like it really only gets worse.
You know what scene was pretty good? And Tim said it was the scene I was gonna like, and he was right.
What?
The fucking Gollum riddle scene.
You liked that? I hated that.
Yeah. No, I was all right with that.
It was, it was very stupid. It was like, how are we gonna do this where he gets the ring, and then, but why are they doing riddles? And it goes on for like way too long. Are you supposed to like Gollum or not like Gollum? And then, and also in the first Lord of the Rings movie, we see the ring fall, and we see Bilbo pick up the ring, and it's not at all how it happens in this movie. But I guess nobody cares about that.
Yeah. No, you're right. I thought about that too, actually.
Yeah. But anyway.
Oh, I mean, I'm looking at some of my texts from yesterday now.
Yeah. You were pretty upset. I don't want you to have to relive that. Don't go back to that place.
Well, I mean, currently on my 35th minute straight inside Bilbo's shitty apartment. I wrote that.
It's kind of nice. It's not so shitty.
Can I just shut this off? Is that a good hook for an episode?
Yeah, you almost did that. Are you going to watch the next two?
Yeah, I'm going to. I really didn't want to, though. Like, to the point, I was complaining so much, Tim actually offered to come on next week and cover the episodes, cover the movies with you.
Which would have been fun. That would have been funny. Yeah. I mean, does it make you feel any better that they are a little bit shorter each time? No, because this one was shorter. This one was 10 minutes shorter than the first two Lord of the Rings movies, and a half hour shorter than the movie I had just watched. You know what I've heard about these, though?
And I think this felt longer than Return of the King.
I agree with you. But what I've heard about these is that this one is really like the setup movie and not much happens. And then the second one is like a good mix of both. Like,
it's just gonna be action, though.
No,
the other two is just it's just gonna be swords clanking around.
No, I hear that's the third one. I hear the third one is just like all action, basically. And there's 5 armies. I don't know if you know about that, but there are 5 armies.
So what you're telling me is the one of these movies that I should be looking forward to is the one called The Desolation of Smaug.
Right. Starring
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot I wrote I think if I met Peter Jackson today, I might beat the shit out of him and go to prison.
Right. But not today, right? You feel better about him today?
No, I feel better about him today. He's a great filmmaker, but I mean, good Lord. I mean, this was a nightmare.
Yeah.
This was a nightmare. And the movie ends with Martin Freeman. The last line of the movie, he says, "I do believe the worst is behind us." And I didn't believe him.
You don't?
I think the worst. I
believe him.
This was bad, but I don't see how the next movie is not going to be just as bad.
No, I'm gonna predict this is the worst one.
I hope so.
Me too. I mean, it's just
I really do.
I give it 1 star.
Yeah. You know what else I read?
What?
20s. You know how most movies end? No animals died in the making of this movie.
Do they all end like that?
You know, most movies.
Sure.
27 animals died in the making of this movie.
Is that? Are you serious?
That's a fact. I read
What?
that they used 150 animals in the making of the first Hobbit movie, and 27 of them died.
Did it say what they were?
It said what animals they had. It didn't say which ones died.
Oh my god, that is so sad.
Yeah.
There's a scene where Radagast is like running through woods and there's like dead porcupines and birds everywhere. Was
Yeah,
that
they probably were
real?
actual dead birds.
I'm sorry, yeah, I think so.
I mean, are you fucking kidding me? They died for this cause?
Yeah, that's
I mean,
upsetting.
it's like that stuntman that died making Deadpool 2. You just feel bad for that guy's family.
I mean, that's way better than this. But yeah, definitely.
Deadpool
also-
2? I mean, I get it.
Deadpool 2 is like basically as good as Deadpool.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it is.
Um,
They're both 2-star movies. They're fine.
I don't like either one of
I
them
mean, we'll
very
watch them one
much,
day.
but yeah, I
Y'all
guess
never
we
did
will.
it for X-Men. Why? You just didn't want to?
I remember when we covered X-Men feeling like we should cover Deadpool. That would be the right thing to do. I just don't want to.
Yeah, and they were like fresh. I think that was like right after the second one had come out, maybe.
Yeah, and I hated it.
Yeah, I get it.
How'd we get on Deadpool?
I don't remember. I really don't remember.
All right.
Oh, you know the stuntman who died.
Oh, right, yeah. I mean, just I give this a 1 as well.
Yeah,
I hated this movie so much.
Yeah, there's nothing good about it. I don't think.
I'd rather watch Home Alone: The Holiday Heist, like anything.
Yeah, I mean that's like more over half the length.
All right, fine. I'll name something long that I'd rather watch. Like,
Blade Runner
I mean,
2049. Blade
yes,
Runner. Or this?
absolutely.
Wow.
I'd rather watch Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049 back to back than watch this half of this one more time.
Whoa, that's a claim that I agree with. Yeah, at least you can see like Roy Batty in Blade Runner. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
right?
I can see Ana de Armas's nice little tatas. All right, whatever.
Who's the other girl? There's the other woman there is cool.
Oh, it's Mackenzie Davis from
Yeah.
*Halt and Catch Fire*.
Yeah.
Oh, what was she in recently? Station
11?
something like that. Yeah,
19? Who knows what it's called?
Station 19. That's the Grey's Anatomy spinoff about firefighters.
Yeah, who knows? Oh, did we say MVP? My MVP. I guess I just have to go. I thought about Smaug because I like the opening with Smaug.
Smaug.
I thought about it, but I'm not. I'm gonna go Ian McKellen just because he's the only tolerable part of this. Martin Freeman, I think, is okay,
He's fine, but he gets a little too like fumfery.
but he's good. Like annoyed, I think, and like what the hell is happening? I think he's good like that. But I'll go McKellen.
God, I mean MVP.
Yeah. Gollum, you like Gollum, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I did.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go Gollum.
All right. How many times has Gollum won for you? Is this the first time?
I can't remember. No, I think this is the first time. So
Wow.
That's not bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So shout out to Gollum.
Because he deserved it kind of in 2, but I really liked Vigo in 2.
Did we not go Theoden too?
Oh yeah, Theoden. Fuck yeah, we might have done that too. You're right.
Yeah. Or maybe I did Theoden, you did Gollum. I don't remember. Anyway, my LVP. Listen, you can go Thorin. He sucks. You can go Azog the Defiler. He sucks. You can go that fat goblin
does
guy.
suck.
That guy sucks. I'm gonna go Azog the Defiler. Just what like a useless villain. I guess he doesn't die either. I guess he's gonna come back. I don't know.
Yeah, rape some more.
Yeah, sadly.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Richard Armitage. I thought that character was so horribly misconceived and badly performed.
Have you ever seen him in anything else?
I feel like I have. I think he might have played the. I think he's not a bad actor in general. Actually, I think he might have played the Red Dragon. Like, what's his? Francis
Hannibal Lecter?
Dollarhide. Yeah, Francis Dollarhide, the killer from Red Dragon. I think he played him in the Hannibal TV show.
Whoa, that's pretty neat.
And I thought he was really good in that.
All
Let me
right.
look up just to make sure.
I saw him in the movie
The
The Lodge with Riley Keough. Is that how you say her name? And
Oh,
I
yeah, she's cute.
think Henry loved that movie, but I didn't really like it that much. But I don't think he's a bad actor. I just think that this character kind of sucks.
How about this? He's the voice of Wolverine on a podcast.
Oh, like the Marvel podcast?
Yeah, apparently.
Whoa, I didn't know that was him, but I've actually heard good things about that. So
Oh,
that's neat.
okay.
Yeah, good for him. They had like cool sound effects and stuff.
Snicked. I bet that's one of them.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Great stuff. I mean, horrible stuff, but great stuff. And next week, The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug, and The Hobbit.
Battle of the Five Armies.
Battle of the Five Armies for sure.
Which
all
army
five.
are you going for?
I'm going to root for whichever one has no dwarves on it.